Hello, world. What's up, guys? This is Dave with the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? What a great show we have lined up for you guys. We have Tyler Zombie Hill coming on the line. What an unbelievably crazy fight week for Tyler Hill. He was going to be on the show around, I believe it was last week, Island Fight 61 main event versus James Freeman. And the fight game happens. He is now not fighting for Island Fight 61 November 9th. He's fighting November 23rd, Biloxi, Mississippi for Empire. So there's so much I want to talk to him about. What happened? What happened? How did he got treated? And everything in between. He wanted this fight with James Freeman so badly, and it's finally going to happen. November 23rd, Biloxi, Mississippi. The fight is going to happen. Him versus James Freeman and everything else. He's been on the show before. Big fans. I definitely want to talk to him about Island Fights 58, his fight against Socrates Pierre. And if you guys don't know about it, we will definitely get into it. Maybe the fight of the year. Great fight. So much to talk with Tyler Hill about. Make sure you give him a follow, guys, on Instagram at Zombie Hill. You can follow us on Instagram, Fight Bananas Official. Make sure you subscribe to the Fight Bananas YouTube page. And guys, you know what we do? Let's not waste your time or mine. Let's get the show started. Go Bananas with Tyler Zombie Hill. All right, guys, on the Fight Bananas hotline, my man Tyler Zombie Hill.
Yo.
How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just finished up a hard night training session. You hear some noise in the background. That's Zach Fears and Brandon smashing some pads.
Man, I love that. I always love watching your Instagram stories. You guys in the garage getting the job done. I love it.
Yeah.
I always love those.
We're over in Gulfport at our Black Belts Jiu-Jitsu gym right now. I actually go to classes and do Jiu-Jitsu and shit from time to time. I just don't put as many clips because, that ain't what people want to see. They want to see the grind.
Absolutely.
The treadmills and oh my God, the worst shit ever. They don't want to watch people show you how to actually do techniques. that doesn't really matter,
Yeah, I hear you. Oh my gosh.
I'm just bullshit.
So, all right, let's Wizard of Oz to this and kind of pull the curtain off. You and I talked a week and a half ago. What
yes,
an
sir.
Unbelievably crazy! It's only happens in the fight game, man. It's Aaron Rodgers, the Packers know they're playing Sunday against an opponent. Like it's already it's locked in. Lambeau Field has ticket sales. Major problem with Alabama. Still can't really talk a lot about it. Island Fight 61 is canceled, canned.
Yeah.
And but man, they stepped up Dean Toole and everything else. But now November 23rd, Biloxi, Mississippi. The fight is back on you versus James Freeman. So just tell me about this last 10 days, this roller coaster of the fight game.
All right. So first off, I'm on that motherfucking treadmill. Can I cuss on here? I don't know.
Yes, sir. You can fucking cuss.
Okay. I'm not trying to set a bad example or anything. I just kind of do, especially right after training. Me and Zach Fears just got done ripping each other's heads off for a couple hours.
There you go.
So I'm on that fucking treadmill every day. And if I'm on that treadmill every single day, I hate the fucking thing. I'm trying to keep up with, I don't know if some people know Brandon, some don't. Me and him train together. We always have for a long time.
Yes, sir.
We're pretty good friends sometimes. We ain't friends when we're on the treadmill, though. That son of a bitch is fast, and he makes me run too stupid fast. Anyway, that was going on. I'm working really hard, working on all this shit every day. I think me and Freeman will have a striking match. So,
right.
We've been working on a lot of shit. We can wrestle, but I think that's what he wants to do. That's what I want to do. Been working on all this stuff. We got an awesome game plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get my hair cut. Shit's getting real. It's getting close. I got my weight down to 190. I'm fucking 210. Feeling awesome. And I'm walking in to get my hair cut, and Christian Garola messaged me. He's like, hey, man, so you in? I'm like, the fuck it. So what are you talking about? He said, well, Island Fights is off. Hold up. So I get up out of the haircut chair, whatever, and I tell the girl, I'm like, hold on. She cuts my hair before my fight, so she kind of knows me.
Right.
Call Christian. What the fuck? I start, first reaction, I'm just freaking out because I already lost this fight once. This fight already fell off me once.
Island Fights 58.
Yep. Thank God Socrates Pierre jumped in there because, dude, I thought I was about to not fight. I was running in the 100-degree weather getting my weight down, and Dean calls me. I saw a Pensacola number. I already knew. I was like, fuck. My opponent must have got injured.
Wow.
But anyway, Socrates Pierre stepped up. Awesome guy. But I got that little fear, and then Christian, it's like, Dean's awesome, and Dean's going to – I don't know if I'm supposed to throw it out there or not, but I don't really care. Dean's going to pay your purse for you to fight on another card because he don't want you to lose out on fights. Basically, you know, he told me, like, I know you're working hard. We had a long talk. And at first I wasn't a big fan of it. You know, the Island Fights, Fight Pass, main event. I feel like things like that are really relevant, man.
Oh,
I feel like
for sure.
a lot of people miss that. Like, I'm the baddest son of a bitch on the block. I'll fight anybody. Yeah, okay. If you're trying to break in my house, well, I'm trying to make it, man.
Yeah, you're trying to get the big checks that the UFC is going to pay out.
Yeah. I don't want to fight for I don't want to throw too many numbers out here anymore, but I'm trying to fight for $2,000. I'm trying to make the moves and invest the time to get to the big stage. And besides the money, I just really want to do it. I don't do this shit for money anymore. I'm not saying I'm rich, but I just set a fucking goal. And now I'm obsessed with it. So I'm in the fucking gym right now. They're mopping up. They're like, get the fuck out of here. I was in Jackson doing a firefighter physical agility this morning, shot straight back. Come train. Come get my ass whooped all night. And this is what we do. This is what we all do. But so anyway, Dean was like, yeah, this is the move. Here's what you need to do. Had a really good conversation with him, man. I feel like I'm working with everything I got because this is the one that matters now, you know?
Yeah, it really does. This is the fight. You know, we've talked a couple of times. You've been on the show. I've watched you live. I have all these notes, and you hit a lot of them. Brandon Davis, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Socrates Pierre fight. Island Fights 58 was incredible. But, man, there's nothing better, man. We've seen your lineup. You fighting on Island Fights gets you, Dana White Contender Series or above. You might be one fight away. You might be maybe 2 fights away. But like you said, that UFC Fight Pass main event win, that could be it. That could be the next.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So we were so pumped. We were heading up to come see the fights, and it was going to be a great card, too. I knew a couple other fights that didn't even get announced, and just what a tragedy. The whole Alabama with the canceling of the card. It just nonsense.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
It's crazy.
That was going to be really cool, but, hey, Dean Toole is a fucking G for.
He is, man.
Because I'm not the only one. I think pretty much everybody that had really dedicated to it, that was really trying to make it, he got them all something.
Right. Isn't it, dude, that's incredible, man. You know this more than I do, man. The fight game, there's a lot of snakes. There's a lot of snakes in the game, you know what I
mean? We're not going to let's stay on track.
Okay,
here.
You're right.
I got to go home and eat dinner tonight. That'll be an hour-long interview right there, fuckers.
But just unbelievable. So, yeah, now you are fighting Biloxi, Mississippi, Tyler Hill versus James Freeman, November 23rd. We can't wait. So before we go to the next 3-4, just let's lock in on that fight. What can we expect? What can the fans, the Fight Bananas community expect November 23rd?
I feel like this in a couple of my fights before, but I felt like it going into it last time. And before I knew it back out, I remember saying this, goddamn, I'm ready to watch that first round after the fight's over. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go back and sit down after. I'm sure, I expect this fight to be nasty. I expected the last one to be nasty, and I loved that shit.
Right.
It was hard, man. It was hard. After I won that fight, I knew I won it. I knew while it was happening, I was like, oh, he feels like I do. He's going to fucking break before me. And nothing against soccer or anybody. I like that dude a lot.
Yeah, great guy.
But that's just my mindset while I'm in there fighting. And, this one, man, I'm ready to see that first round after it's all said and done. I know we're going to fucking fight that first round. That's what I'm focusing on right now, because that's the first thing that happens. A lot of people start thinking about the end of the fight and after the fight. Man, I'm in the first round. Fuck. Like, put me in that first round, because that's where you find out what you're made of, to me. That first round with a guy and a guy like Freeman. I don't know. I go back and forth, but I always respect my opponents. Whether I'm up in their face or rather we're shaking hands before we fight, I always respect my opponents. I know that dude's got some pistons on him. I see it. I know he's going to fucking throw, man.
Right.
Me fucking too. That's all I know. And I'm really excited to do that, especially working with Brandon a lot. Like I said, sometimes we really don't like each other, but usually I mean, that's like damn near my coach these days. We've been training partners for a long time, but I finally was just like, you know what? I don't want to act like I know shit. I'm just going to listen to you. You will see some new shit in this fight. It might not be an 18-punch combo. It'll be small things that you notice, and you're like, oh, shit, why does Tyler look different?
Right.
It's because I've changed some things this fight camp, and I've never said that before. You can look at any interview I ever had in my life. I've never said you're going to see new things because I ain't changed shit. Dude, I've really been working on some new stuff and growing as a technical striker.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, Tyler. It's little things. Like you just said, you don't have to, your game is great enough. You are right there. There's no reason to, change the game plan, but maybe just put in a short elbow. Maybe it is just putting in a front kick, whatever it is, you know what I mean? I don't want you to say anything because I want to see it November 23rd, but that's it. Little things are the big thing in the big picture. We mentioned him a couple of times. I desperately want to talk about it. Socrates Pierre, Island Fights 58. We're in the building. I remember weigh-ins. Socrates did this really big scream. Do you remember that? Like, I think you.
Oh yeah, I remember that vividly.
Yeah, and I kind of I was like, oh, because both you guys have always been like super respectful. Everything I've always seen, I'm like awesome. And then I'm like, whoa, okay, I didn't know there was anything there. And I talked to Sock. He's like, no, it was just him trying to get himself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, two hungry guys.
Right. You guys.
I didn't take anything. I wasn't mad at him, but that's when it really set into me. I was like, oh, we're about to fight.
Yes.
This ain't like oh, hey man, I'm stepping in short note. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, hey motherfucker, I'm here to fight. And I like that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to yell back. I wanted to soak that shit in. And then when we got in there, I swear to God, I remember this was so good. Right when I got in there and he walked out and he yelled at me in the middle of the ring, it flashed me back right to weigh-ins and we're in each other's face. And I was like, oh fuck, push play. This is where we get to do what we were building up right then. And I think, dude, I feel like that fight delivered. Oh, I know it felt like it did.
Tyler, I'm telling you, not even just because you're on the Fight Bananas podcast right now. I've been telling people for the last 6 months, since that fight, and everyone wants to talk about that Israel and Kevin fight. Dude, your fight with Sock, I will debate to this day, was the fight of 2019. It was incredible, especially live. I'm ringside. You know that. I'm ringside. Yeah. All the cool people were ringside. There's Dean there, and we're jumping. We're up and down. That fight was incredible, brother. So first of all, big up respect to you on that fight, winning the fight. I said this to Socrates to his face, how much I respected and admire his, that fight that night. Your guys' fight was incredible. So anyone who hasn't seen it yet, go back, Island Fights 58, UFC Fight Pass. Make sure you watch that Tyler Hill, Socrates Pierre fight. It was bananas. It was insane.
Hell yeah.
I loved it.
But yeah, man, that's, I think you'll see, similar. I hope, I mean, Freeman will fight on the outside and stay. I ain't watched him that much. I've watched all his fights once or twice. Not all of them, but all the ones that I could find on Fight Pass. Watched a couple times. I feel like that's smart, but I don't obsess over what my opponents are going to do. I notice, I know 5 things that he does that I recognize pretty quickly. And then everything outside of that, I'm not really going to focus on it too much. Cause if I plan for his shit, that's stupid.
You're not going to do your stuff. You know what I mean? You're not going to work your game plan. And I feel like you create that fight. You create that scrum. You create that chaos.
It's definitely a strategy.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's a strategy of, like I said, small things, not big things. Small things, small little fucking. The fight game movements and which one's the real movement, which one's the fake movement, which noise is real, which one's just, you got to bluff, man. And then you got to be fucking sure. You got to throw that punch with your body more sure than your mind is you're even going to throw it. Just drop fucking like a laser. And, that's the stuff I've been, honing in on. I fucking know all the punches, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know them. I don't need to obsess over the combinations anymore. It's about the fucking timing and the weight distribution. How much energy am I using? Those are things that, we're dialing in. So, I think it'll be a good performance. And I don't think he's been in a boring fight.
No.
Fights I saw weren't boring.
No, so. Free will definitely throw with you for sure.
Yeah, I was in person, him and Brok, and I was excited as fuck for that fight. So I knew this fight was going to happen, man. So did he. Yeah. James Freeman knew it was probably after the Brok fight. I mean, I don't feel like there's no animosity. We're gonna fight though, you know.
Right?
It's our job. I can't wait. Fuck, it's gonna be a good time. I wish it was
the
on
night
Fight Pass, but
I know. Yeah, I wish it was this weekend instead of the 23rd, but shit happens in the game. Okay, so you mentioned two names, and I definitely want to kind of zone in with both of those. First of all, let's talk about it. Brandon, Michael Davis. I want to talk about follow both of you guys on social media. I want to talk about that cross-country trip that you boys went on from the Panhandle all the way out there to it was California, right? Because he fought in Cali.
Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim. How was that trip? You guys recorded a lot of it. Was that part of the game plan, or just kind of
we just
fun?
Have a good time.
Yeah,
man.
right.
This shit's about an experience, dude. Do you know how long we've been training together?
7 years.
No, we're way over that now.
Wow.
I started just over 10 years ago, and I think about 8, 9, something like that. But now getting to go across the fucking country in a Mercedes Sprinter, and I mean, how can you not do that? You got to enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. You guys are on one of the biggest UFC cards of the year. The main event was that DC Stipe 2 fight. It was incredible, and I don't even want to get into that fight. I don't want to get into the details. Gee whiz, he won that fight.
You know, I don't know. When you go, like, and Zach Fears came with us too, it's weird, man. I've had so many people that I've trained with that, I'm not slinging mud. They didn't stick. They didn't really, we'll train together sometimes. And when we train together, we're friends, we're cool, and it's awesome. But you got a couple of guys you get real tight with, and like when you put y'all in a room, nobody's gonna, we might get mad, we might almost really fight, but nobody's gonna bitch out, nobody's gonna be weak, everybody's strong. We got that little thing going on, so anytime we can get the three of us together for some training or whatever, it's badass. So that was like the dream trip.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome, man. I love hearing about it.
I remember telling our cameraman the whole lead up to my fight, because he was there filming Brandon with the treadmills and the mitts and shit every day. So he would end up getting me too. You probably saw some of that on Instagram.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I remember telling him every day, I was like, Joey Parker, I've got to win this fight fucking dominantly so that I can enjoy my fucking beers in the back of the Mercedes going cross country. I don't want to be back there sad. I'm going to be fucking happy. I don't care. And I remember thinking in the Socrates fight, I remember he fucking had me down, and I was a little winded. I ain't gonna lie. I remember thinking, fuck, I gotta get up, and I gotta get up right now, because I'm not about to be sad for a week in California. Fuck this shit. And then, so yeah, it was awesome. And
one of the last kind of the cool story, it's just one of those things that always happens, right? This is just going to definitely come up on one of your UFC video packages. So you're in there, Brandon Davis said something to Dana White. It was like before the show, and you went right up to Dana at the very end and just like, I forgot the exact words. I'm paraphrasing. You might be able to, I know exactly, Dave. You said like, hey, Dana, I'll be back, or I'll see you soon, or something of that nature. It was like, ooh.
I couldn't not say anything.
Right.
I tried.
Uncle
I tried
Dana.
to hold it in. I was like, Brandon's fighting. Don't steal it. Don't. I was like, fuck this shit. I got to go and let him know. Because, dude, I was on Contender, and I talked to Dana before the Contender fight in the casino. Alan got me to come up and talk to him or whatever. And I remember him talking to me, and just the conversation we had about my life and about me and about just a few little things. Dude, he fucking wanted me to win. They wanted me to make it on there. Sean Shelby came backstage after the fight, and he was like, man, you had a good showing. We're going to get you back in here. We really like you. Like all these little things.
Right.
Fuck. So close. And again, if y'all don't fucking know, and I got to be proud of this, man, because I never saw any of this coming. I started in a utility room in Cleveland, Mississippi. Like a fucking, we didn't have mats. It was concrete on the ground. And that's real. That was in 2008, 2009. And I had never fucking, if you'd have told me that I was even going to meet Dana White at a fight, I wouldn't have believed you.
Right. Wow.
Much less any of that. So it really is to me, bro, like, fuck, this is real. If this ain't real, goddamn, the sky is not blue and the ground's not green. Because it's been a journey. But yeah, me and Brandon we met when I went to college or whatever, and dude, we didn't know this shit was going to happen, but now we're here. And I got to think about that shit like every day, especially with all this hard training and stuff, you know?
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome. That's such a great story. One of the other names you just kind of talked about, and definitely part of your career in the same area. We mentioned him 2-3 times. Brok Weaver.
I got to call him when I get off the phone with you right now. He's supposed to come put in 5 rounds with me in the morning.
There you go. There you go.
He hit me up and he was like, I can't remember. I got to get the fight out of me. We got to do some savage shit.
Yes.
You're the only motherfucker I know that'll go as hard as I'm trying to go. I say, come on, baby.
Tyler,
I told him I'd split his gas money with him.
How funny is this? I talked to Brok this morning. He was going to be on the show, but between you and me, something might be happening soon. So the same thing, like you and I talked off air a week ago. So we're like, hey, let's just kind of we'll put it on the back burner, and we might talk in a week or so. Let's just leave it like that. But
yeah,
Island Fights 51, you guys went in it. Supposed to be, of course, Dana White was supposed to be there live, and everything that came out, and then just all the success that Brok has had since. Is that just a motivation to?
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it at all. Like there was that's a hard dude to fucking be mad at if you don't know him.
Oh,
like,
he's the man.
He's a cool, I mean, I know you know him, but
yes,
other
sir.
people, like, he's a cool motherfucker. We actually went and watched him. We drove 5 hours across the fucking desert, go watch him in person on Contender. And, man, that shit was awesome. We're supposed to spar in the morning a lot, and because he's a good southpaw, James Freeman southpaw. So, and Brok was the last fight James Freeman had, so that all around just makes a lot of sense for me to buy the man some gasoline to come and train with me.
Absolutely,
but yeah, dude, and then his last fight, that got called off. Fuck, that was a perfect fight for him. You know, I want to see the dude do really well. I really like him. I think that here's how I see it. All right, I'm not going to talk too much about my fight in 2 weeks because we'll just let that be what it is.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
Fucking see it's about to happen.
Yes, sir.
Get another win, 2 more wins. I really only think it's going to take 1 more win, and I'm on Contender for sure. You know, again, and the long road. Guess what? I've already been on Contender. I fucking lost. Trust me, I remember. I was there. Nobody got to tell me.
Right.
But now the long road, and then if you don't know, I dropped 2 more after that. And the guy I lost to after Brok was not fucking supposed to beat me. And it's just, I hit rock bottom, son. I didn't talk to anybody about it. I probably never will. But like for where I'm at now, coming back, I can't wait.
Doesn't it make it that much sweeter, brother? Like, doesn't it make?
Yeah, you got to go through this shit.
Right.
You've got to go through these things to really grow. I have gotten so much better since Contender because I had to swallow that. And the next loss, and the next loss. And you still show up to the treadmill in the morning. And then you got pad work after that. And then you got to wrestle with Alan Belcher. Like, dude, that shit is hard to fucking do when you ain't even making the double paycheck. You're making the single paycheck on the chunk show and you're losing.
Right. Wow.
You're nobody.
Well, I wouldn't say that, brother. You're definitely, dude, to me, you're a future superstar in the game. I love watching you fight. It's always been an honor to watch you fight.
I appreciate that, man. That's really good to hear. Like,
absolutely, man.
That's what I do it for sure.
Hey, bro. Man, I got family here, career here, all this. I live in Daytona Beach, Florida, and my plan this weekend, November 9th, was to drive 8 hours to Orange Beach, Alabama. 2 reasons: 1, Tyler Zombie Hill, and 2 was Impa Kasanganai. So you're definitely, I wanted to see that fight, man.
Guess what? We're on the same card again, November 23rd. You should be there.
Hey, I might. Biloxi, Mississippi. I got to get that.
I heard something about that. I don't know. Somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, they're on it too. Andre Hall and Impa's on there. The Empire Fighting Championship, November 23rd, Biloxi, Mississippi. God, that's going to be an epic card. Yeah, man, I always appreciate your time. I know you were banging all night, and I don't want to take up more of your time, but if you have anything else, any kind of things off your plate, any kind of sponsor plugs or anything you want to talk to James Freeman about, the floor is yours, brother.
Oh man, get me on the Facebook Live. I like doing that stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Get to interact. I want to do
sure.
that shit. But yeah, for this, man, I feel like I really covered everything. I'm not a shit talker, man. We're gonna fight.
Right.
All right. We're gonna fight our fucking asses off. Awesome. I respect that. I like that. Yeah, man, my training camp's been a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more focused on me than I feel like it's ever been. Shout out to Brandon for really stepping up. Zach Fears been here coaching me on some high level shit that's not striking for the past hour and a half. Got my black belt, Mike Sanford, Alan Belcher working with me when his schedule allows a couple times a week. Anyway, I'm ready to go, man.
That's awesome.
I'm ready to be talking about something better to talk about.
We will very soon. Yeah, we'll get you on the Facebook Live right before the fight that week, or after the fight, after you win November 23rd, Empire Fighting Championship. Tyler Hill, man, appreciate you, brother. Have a good night. We'll talk to you very soon. All right.
All right, bro. Sounds good.
All right, brother. Bye. All right, guys. That was Tyler Hill on the line. Cannot wait. November 23rd is going to be an amazing fight. James Freeman versus Tyler Hill. But first of all, let's thank Warhammer Fightwear. They've been with us since the beginning. Check them out at warhammerfightwear.com. You can always go to Amazon to check them out. They got some of the best gear for the ladies, for the kids, for the guys, some of the best MMA gear in the world. Also, N-Stool Nutrition, we got to thank them. They have tons of pro fighters that they support and sponsor all the time. Fighters like Michael Davis, how about Alex Nicholson, and even how about like Jacob Kilburn? That was for you, Jacob.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was letting you do your thing, man. Yeah, man, they always take care of me really good. N-Stool Nutrition, that's if there's anybody in the fight game right now that seems to really be just excited and genuinely happy to be in fighters' corners, it's got to be them. So yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
And guys, welcome to the show. Jacob Killer Kilburn is coming on. We're so pumped to have him on. It was kind of a surprise guest, and he's welcome on the show anytime. It's kind of Fight Bananas featuring Jacob Kilburn. It's his show anytime he wants. So Jacob, brother, how are you doing, my man?
I'm good. Actually, you called me when I was just getting done on the rowing machine. So if it seems like I'm not firing on all cylinders, that's why. I'm not slow, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I am getting refocused back to the normal Jacob. But I'm doing good, man.
Good, man.
Staying healthy, staying in shape. I'm sitting at like 165, 164. So ready within range if we needed to make weight on. For Uncle Dana on a week's notice or something crazy comes up, we're ready.
Wow. We'll talk about that real quick in a second, but let's put the cherry on what we just talked about with Tyler Hill. Island Fight 61 got canceled. So it was around 10 days. The fight game changes all the time and how crazy it is. And I know you've been a part of that on both sides, taking fights on short notice, people jumping out of the fight due to injury or due to just falling out, weight, whatever the issues may be. How is it to be a fighter? And to the analogy I use with Tyler, Jacob, is the Green Bay Packers are playing Sunday at Lambeau Stadium. They know what it is. The fight is already locked in. For you guys to kind of have that roller coaster, the mentality, how do you have to deal with that with being a professional fighter?
Well, yeah, it's funny that you use the roller coaster analogy. That's the closest thing that I could think to. It would be like jumping in the car and driving to Universal Studios or Disney or something and just being super excited, getting in line, waiting for your favorite roller coaster. You've been planning this all year, and then, right when it's your turn, you're the next to get on, they tell you, hey, sorry, we're shutting the park down. Come back another day. It's it's devastating. It never gets easier because you've literally, you've cut out your social life. You've made, changes in your diet. You've made sacrifices and lost a lot of sleep preparing for somebody, a date, an event, and it gets taken away from you. But that is the fight game,
right.
For sure. It is. You just got to be able to roll with the punches. Both literally and figuratively. That's just the way it is. You got to be able to take stuff on short notice, and you have to be able to understand that sometimes, that's the way it is. There's really crazy bad things that happen, and the closer it gets to the fight, the fighters, the matchmakers, and the promoters, everybody just starts to sweat a little more because it's like every week that goes by, okay, we've made it. What's going to come up? It seems like something always happens, and you're just hoping it's not your match, and sometimes it is.
Right, and it's funny. That's what Tyler kind of said the same thing. He goes, sometimes you just have to pray on it, and sometimes, it happens bad for you, and then sometimes it happens good for you. For him, Island Fights 58, James Freeman dropped out of the fight 20 hours before weigh-ins, and then they got Socrates Pierre to drive from Tallahassee to Pensacola that morning to make weight and to fight.
Yep.
So sometimes you are, you just get super lucky, and sometimes you don't. Man, how about, I don't want to bring it up that much. There was a brawl at the last Island Fights, including one, who you were fighting with in the main event.
Yep.
Easily, that could have went super sour. That could have, he could have injured his hand and not fight. So you just never know. Until you're literally locked in those ropes,
Yes.
you just never know.
That's true. I mean, I've heard of guys passing out. I can remember years ago, this was probably 2012, we were at an amateur fight show, and backstage, a guy just collapsed face first, hit the concrete, and he didn't get to fight that night. He just passed out. I mean, literally, it's not until you're standing across the cage from your opponent that it's actually happening, and crazy things just happen. That's, sometimes they cause the event to shut down. Sometimes you just lose a fight. But, yeah, man, it's the unfortunate reality of the game that we play.
Very true. And hey, you brought it up, and this is why I get paid the medium dollars. Look at this. Amateur shows December 21st, Island Fight 61. It's been renumbered now. Pensacola, Florida, battle. I know you're bringing some fighters down there, and what a show. I know Dean Toll is going to make it's, the holiday season, and he's already got 3, 4, 5 fighters I've already heard on the show. It's like, wow, like this is going to be it. This is just going to put the cherry on top for one of the greatest years in Dean Toll's promotion's history. So tell me about Island Fight 61, what you're doing with your gym and your amateur fighters.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be exciting. I've never got to be a part of an all-amateur show before in Island Fights, and if I'm being honest, sometimes amateur fights they're more fun to watch just because there's no paycheck on the line. Guys know that they're still in their learning experience, and the rounds are shorter. There's more rules, so they just get to be a little bit more reckless, I guess, because they're not as worried. There's not as much anxiety involved. It seems sometimes you end up being more entertained at an amateur fight show than a pro fight show. So in a lot of ways, it's a really exciting thing. I'm bringing down a couple of my guys, some featherweights. One of them is named Adonis Bonilla, and the other guy is Alexander Shank. And both these guys they're grinders, man. They're both, they come from really good wrestling backgrounds, and their kickboxing is ridiculous as well. They've done amateur kickboxing, amateur MMA. Like I said, they've got a grappling base, and these guys are. I mean, the world doesn't know who they are, but they are very, very key components in my training camp, and I'm excited to get to share, their names and their skill sets with the Island Fights fan base.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. And for one, so you said one of the fighters' names is Adonis Bonilla?
Yes, that's right.
Jacob, you and me, we talk about it off air. If that man was not born, if he wasn't preyed on to be a professional fighter with that brilliant fighting name, I don't know what he was here to do on this great
Absolutely.
earth. And then second, how the Island Fights, how they can legitimately create superstars, and they're in this creating amateur superstars. So now they, can transfer to professional fights. Island Fights 65, Island Fights 70, Island Fights 75. Jacob Kilburn can't main event those shows anymore. He's going to be in the big stage around next year to the year after that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So talking about the big stage, can I throw an idea out there to you?
Yes. I'm open. Just not like. I'm not fighting John Jones, so
okay.
If it's off the table.
Off the table, and then Masvidal maybe one day, but okay, no. How about UFC 245? It's in December. You say you're ready, and
yep.
There's one fighter that he's been on the show before, and he's been on Island Fights before. A great fighter, one of the youngest UFC fighters in the history of their sport. How about Chase Hooper? I know he just got matched, and I don't wish any bad luck on anyone, and I want that fight to go down. But, stuff happens in the game. We talked about it. This episode has been a roller coaster of emotions for Tyler Hill and for you with other future opponents. How about, let me throw out an idea. Something happens, And then how about UFC 245? We see a Chase Hooper, Jacob Killer Kilburn fight. You like that?
Dude, that would be here. Can I tell you some? Can I just tell you some information that maybe the world doesn't know?
Oh, give us a Fight Bananas exclusive. Give it.
They've turned that fight down 2 separate occasions, maybe 3 if I don't remember correctly, but I can think of 2 distinct occasions where they've turned me down. One time where they had 6 weeks to prepare, and they said that they needed more time to prepare, closer to 12 weeks. And then another time was, Chase Hooper was supposed to fight at Island Fights, and his opponent faked a back injury, and they turned me down on 2 days' notice. I said that I would, I was sitting nearly 30 pounds overweight, and I said that I would make the weight, no questions asked. And they turned me down on 2 separate occasions. Once they had an opportunity at a full training camp, and once to take it on short notice when he had already been through a full training camp, and I was not training, and I was very out of shape, and they turned it down both times. We've been trying to get that fight for a long time, and it's eluded us. And he ended up getting signed because he had the developmental deal. So I've actually had my eye on that event, and I don't ever want to wish bad luck on anybody. But for whatever reason, if something happens, Chase's opponent falls out, I promise you, I will be ready, drooling, waiting for the phone call. So. Yes,
wow, there you go. Look at that. Just kind of us chit-chatting. He's fighting Daniel Tamor. Great fighter, 31 years old, featherweight. Been in the UFC. He is 1-3 in the UFC, coming off of a win. And, he's actually had only 1 cancellation. He's a fighter, but you never know. But it's just, I think that would just be crazy. And me just being a fan of mixed martial arts and a fan of both of you, I would just love to see that. I just think, especially for both of your debut in the UFC, I think you guys would put on an unbelievable show. And one thing I don't know if you've seen, or kind of it was news today, that the prelims for UFC 244 to me is one of the greatest shows of all time. The President, The Rock, the BMF, just all the glitz and glamour around the show. But just to kind of go back, the prelims that were on ESPN2 was the most watched prelims in the history of the sport. Like,
I believe it.
It was just
that makes a lot of sense to me. That whole show was huge. That doesn't surprise me at all.
So, if you guys being on the prelims of UFC 245, 3 title fights, Max Holloway, the Usman versus Colby fight, Amanda's on the card, it would just be an unbelievable platform for you guys.
That would be awesome. That would be, that would be a huge card to debut on. Getting to, oh my goodness, that would just be, yes. Let's speak it into existence, man. Yeah, just not wishing nothing bad on anybody, but
no, sir.
If maybe that's the way things are supposed to happen, that would be really cool. I'll be ready for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm talking to you over the phone. We're not doing Skype, or we're not doing Facebook Live or nothing like that. We're talking over the phone, and I'm just wearing this super delightful, comfortable shirt. Jacob, do you know any T-shirts that people should buy and should get out there?
Well, if you're looking for something that's going to make you feel great, look great, it's going to be a conversation starter.
Yep.
It's a workout shirt. It's a church shirt. It's a pajama. It's all. You need to go to myfightshirt.com, and you can grab the new 2019 Killer Kilburn walkout shirt. It's got a lion on it. It says Killer. It's epic. You can also get one it's the Killer Kilburn exclusive shirt. It's got my arms folded. It's got blood red on it. It's awesome. But we've got some awesome gear on there. If you just want to feel better about yourself in general, that's the shirt to wear.
Usually I put a B- performance up when I podcast here for Fight Bananas, but I wore this shirt today, Jacob. And this podcast, I'm not going to lie, this is an A to an A+ performance. This shirt can bring out anything out of anybody.
If you just find yourself, what I've had people do is, if there's like a girl that they want to build up their confidence to go ask out, I'll say, hey, throw this T-shirt on. You just wear it under whatever you're wearing. It's going to it's going to turn you into that next level alpha male. And if you combine that with some Manscaped products or some Anstill or some Warhammer or something, dude, it's just, you're like one step away from Hercules. It's, yes.
To your ears, to the gospel.
That's right.
Jacob, man, always a pleasure. You are always welcome on the show. You know that. Always appreciate your time. Get back to kicking butt, get back to working out, and we always appreciate your time. If you have anything else, any kind of amateurs you want to talk about, any kind of plugs, any kind of your Instagram at killer_Kilburn, anything else you want to talk about, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't following Alexander Shank or Adonis Bonilla on Instagram and Facebook, check those guys out. They're in all kind of pictures that are on my social media, so you can navigate through that and find that really easy as well. If you're not following me on Instagram, killer_Kilburn, go ahead and do it. If you're not hooked up with Ansteel Nutrition, you need to do it. If you're looking for an awesome new jiu-jitsu gi, go to rollingbonesgear.com. If you're into any kind of religious or anything like that, I've actually just become part of a ministry called Walking in the Light Ministries. I'll be one of the teachers, one of the media producers, so we're really excited about that. More news to follow in that regard. But yeah, man, just stay tuned. I'm here. I'm still alive. I'm training, and yeah, we're staying ready.
There you go. There it is, guys. Jacob Killer Kilburn, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you very, very soon, brother.
Awesome.
Stay blessed. Soon.